Hi there guys, I am super excited to present the unboxing exclusive feature of the brand new Z900 that has made it to the Indian shows. I know the kind of following Z900 enjoys right here. It is the birth or the resurrection of a brand new upgraded variant which is sharper, sleeker and meaner and more technologically advanced than ever before. So without further ado, let's get this unboxing started. Here's the exhaust note of the 2025 Kawasaki Z900, the much awaited super naked, coming from the house of Kawasaki. 948cc, inline 4, 124 PS, 97.4 Newton meters torque, 6-axis IMU, bidirectional quick shifter, and all the electronic aids that you come expecting. Screaming inline 4, beautiful tail lamp, and a wonderfully laid out tank, perfectly sculpted with the Sugoi design concept. And you have this brushed aluminum finish to the metal plate, a triple headlamp layout. The people's champ is here. What a screaming inline 4. Okay, well, we have the brand spanking new 2025 Kawasaki Z900 parked right behind me. We have the red color as well as the green color. We're going to focus and learn everything about the spanking new Z900 that brings way lot more than what you can imagine. So first of all, looking at the bike itself, it's sharper, sleeker and meaner. It still carries the Sugoi design language that the Z branding stands up for. So that is unmistakably Z. The moment you take a closer look, especially at the tank, it's still that well sculpted, beefed up, chunky 17-liter tank that you get, but the rest of the bodywork is far more chiseled and far more streamlined when compared to prior. You have the trellis frame made up of high tensile steel. You have this brushed aluminum finish to the with the Z branding right over here for the tank cowl. You have new headlamp layout, new tail lamp layout, which makes it look more compact and more modern than ever before. You have a tri headlamp layout twin lamp right over there and one lamp at the bottom for the high beam layout. A massive radiator grille right over there. 17-inch wheels, front and rear. Nissan brakes, 300 mm rotors, 4-piston radial calipers, as you can see right over here. So 41 mm USD forks, non-adjustable, and then horizontal backlink suspension, kind of an offset layout. Then the beautifully painted in green exposed trellis frame. Again, you have this kind of accents right over here, trying to mask the frame and covering it in gloss black. This color itself is matte finish, whereas this one is gloss finish. The red one gets a glossy finish, has a powder coated finish. You can see paint quality is top notch as always. Looking at the cluster, as I told you, this is one of the finest looking clusters. It's a 5-inch full color TFT. I'll just have a closer look. There you go. So it looks extremely legible. You have different layouts for the display. So you can select, use the select button, get into the main menu, and then just go up and down using these arrows. Then select the vehicle settings. You have the shift lamp, engine speed, quick shifter on off that you can turn on as per your wish and will. Then going back, here you have display. Again in display we have type 1, which is this one, and type 2, which is this one. So if you select type 2 and go back, this is the kind of display that greets you, which looks pretty modern, pretty premium. You have all the relevant info, gear position indicator, the riding mode, the rev counter that climbs all the way up, a compass, then battery volt meter, clock, and the engine temperature gauge. So apart from that, let's go back into the menu. We have date and clock, service, Bluetooth connectivity with turn-by-turn navigation, and all other features that you come expecting from the Kawasaki Rideology app. So let's get back to the main menu. Now the handlebar feels slightly shorter when compared to prior, and you have adjustable levers right over here for the clutch as well as the brake. The seat is much more accessible. It is 830 mm. Let me just focus on this. Focus, yeah. 830 mm of seat height, as you can see right over there. And then ground clearance is 145 mm, which is much better when compared to other superbikes in the class. Even the side stand has a very good finish to it. Look at the red accent right over there. Side stand is of good quality and has a good finish to it. This red color really pops up. It's a classy red with the glossy black and a dark gray finish. So this is my pick of the lot, undeniably. If I were to buy, I would buy this one. And look at the LED lighting. Looks absolutely stellar, and the seat remains the same. Not much usable space, maybe slightly better than prior, but not good enough. But then the tail lamp screams modern and upmarket feel, almost kind of reminds us of the dragster from the MV Agusta. Has a very good design to it, so it lights up beautifully. And then you have the LED turn blinkers all over. As I told you, the seat height is much more accessible now. Then you have the power plant right over here. 948cc inline 4, screaming inline 4, puts out 124 PS of max power and 97.4 Newton meters of max torque. Comes mated to a 6-speed gearbox with a bi-directional quick shifter, which means clutchless upshifts as well as clutchless downshifts. And you also get a 6-axis IM view with cornering management function, which means cornering ABS, cornering traction control is all well taken care of. Again, Dunlop tires. You have these are Dunlop Sport Max tires, and this is 180, I think so. Yeah, 180 section at the back, and maybe a 120 section up front. So, and the swing arm, so beautifully laid out swing arm. Then you have the rear disc with Nissan caliper. The tires are top notch to support the kind of performance it has on offer, and it feels a lot more lighter and much more easier to flick around when compared to the beefed up version that used to prevail earlier. Again, this kind of satin chrome finish with the Z branding right over here highlights the more upmarket feel they want to bring to the segment. The matte finish to the green color scheme also looks very, very well done. So overall, the fit and finish, build quality is top notch as you come expecting when the branding reads Kawasaki. But yeah, so it has a different kind of design language for those who are used to the beefed up look of the Z. You might take a little while to get used to this new design language and the new design silhouette that they've gone with. But trust me, it's more form than function. I mean, it will be much more easier to flick around even in chock-a-block city traffic, and the agility and the maneuverability of this bike goes to a different level altogether.